Then, moving on to specification number 6, it says, describe translocation as the movement of sucrose and amino acids in the phloem from parts of plants that produce or release them, sources, to parts of plants that use or store them, called sinks. So here, we're looking at two different transport systems in plants, the xylem and the phloem. The role of the xylem is to transport water and minerals upward from the roots to the rest of the plant. Its function is purely related to transpiration. Now, we shift our focus to translocation, which is linked to the phloem. The phloem transports not only water but also food, mainly sucrose and amino acids. It has a two-way flow of sap, thin cell walls made of cellulose, and cells with end walls that have perforations. This structure allows the phloem to carry nutrients from sources to sinks as needed by the plant. The first thing to note about translocation is how we define it. So, translocation is the process by which sucrose and amino acids move through the phloem of plants, from areas where they're produced or released, we call these the sources, to areas where they're used or stored, and these are known as the sinks. So, let's talk about phloem. The main soluble products of photosynthesis are sugars, mostly in the form of sucrose, and amino acids. These are the plant's transportable nutrients. They move through a special tissue called the phloem, which makes sure every part of the plant gets what it needs. Plants have a vascular system that moves important substances around, like water, minerals, and sugars. In this system, the phloem vessels specifically carry sucrose and amino acids from the sources, that's where they're made, like in the leaves, to the sinks, places where they're used or stored, like roots, fruits, or flowers. Sucrose is the main sugar on the move here, and it's carried along with amino acids to help with growth, metabolism, or storage for later. This entire process of moving nutrients from where they're produced to where they're needed is called translocation. So, let's talk about the role of phloem in translocation. Translocation is the process where the phloem moves dissolved substances, like sugars and amino acids, throughout the plant. Interestingly, the direction of this movement isn't fixed, it changes depending on the plant's stage of growth and the time of year. For example, during the growing season, sugars are usually transported from the leaves, which we call the source, to growing tissues or storage organs, known as the sinks. But in some cases, like in spring, sugars that have been stored in the roots or other storage tissues can move back to actively growing areas to support new growth. So, the source is any part of the plant producing sucrose and amino acids, while the sink is where these nutrients are used or stored. This process is really important because it ensures that the products of photosynthesis reach every part of the plant that needs energy or building materials, supporting growth and overall health.